Look at that! Look at that heart! Oh my gosh, but I didn't think it was that big.
This is unbelievable. Right in front of a living dinosaur, an incredible species that has been around for thousands and thousands of years, going right here at Aqualand. Hey, what's up everybody? Ed the Pond Professor here. I hope you enjoyed meeting that incredible heart koi last week. Today I am heading over to Chicago's O'Hare Airport to pick up something truly prehistoric. Let's go check it out. Getting back from a long journey. Unfortunately, nowhere exotic, just going to O'Hare Airport, picking up some really cool fish though. Greg and I met this guy, Simer, down at AQUASHELLA months ago now. He had some really cool fish. Sturgeon, if you're not familiar with them, massive, massive, monstrous fish. Actually, the largest fish in the world, I believe to my knowledge. Between the sturgeon, Arapaima, the beluga sturgeon, could get 20 plus feet. Massive, way longer than this van, like way longer than the van, weigh as much as a car, 3,000 plus pounds. So these are monstrous fish. They're also ancient. They look like swimming dinosaurs. Bottom feeding fish similar to a koi. Ventrally located mouth means that mouth is on the bottom. Also has little sensory structures by its mouth where it searches out its food sources. We have diamond sturgeons, which are going to go in the front pond. They're going to get a little bit on the bigger side, hopefully between 4 and 5 feet. We also have albino sturgeon. So the albinos, obviously it sounds like it is a white fish. So I'm looking forward to seeing those. Not going to get as large, have a little bit more personality, and what we're thinking of doing is putting them in the pond right here on the side. I would like to bring them indoors into the interior koi pond, but during summer months right now, might want to keep them outdoors. Even though they're hardy fish, they can handle the cold water and all that stuff. We might leave them out here for a while and then move them into the indoors later on in the season. So we do have a little bit of flexibility. So looking forward to this, ready to do an unboxing. Awesome fish. The whole back of this van is actually full. So we have 6 monstrous boxes. So it is time. Pop one of these things open to see exactly what we have here. Packaged up really nice, which is always a good sign. Some bubble wrap stuff to keep them from bouncing around, but it's also insulated. Good sign, it's gonna keep that water cold. All right, check out these little guys. Wow, those are awesome. Just incredible, incredible fish. Thankfully, these have come from a biosecure facility. They're very, very diligent. Not only was the facility biosecure, but then they did a secondary quarantine before they shipped them. We don't need to quarantine anything. We're gonna go from here directly into the pond. Let's go open up another box here, see what we got. Whoa, holy cow. Look at that albino. You know when one fish comes in a box by itself, it's a big fish. That is incredible. So I'm gonna get this one out of the van right now. We're gonna stage him over here because the albino's going in the side pond. We're getting ready to release these incredible fish into the pond, the oldest pond at Aqualand. Not just the oldest pond, but the oldest thing here. We built this before the actual building was completed. So this went in 2005, 17 years old, not very deep, 2.5 feet. But what's unique about it is it's a long, narrow, riverine type of a system, which is kind of going to mimic the habitat where sturgeon are from. It's a riverine fish. They're not found in shallow, little riffle areas. They're found in big river systems and things like that. Good flow rate coming through. High dissolved oxygen. The reason we have high dissolved oxygen is we have that beautiful waterfall at one end, which is constantly churning and mixing up the water, bringing in atmospheric oxygen into the water column, which is going to help with the fish. The other thing that's important when we start talking about the health of a fish, especially a cold water fish, is not only the temperature of the water itself, but cold water holds more dissolved oxygen. This is a negative edge feature. Negative edge feature means all the water flows over an edge in the side of the pond. There is a underground or a separate reservoir. We're pumping water out of this separate reservoir. Goes up through our waterfall, and as it cascades down, all of that water has to return into an underground reservoir. That reservoir is 3,000 gallons. it is 6 feet deep. That means the water is going to be in the dark. That means the water is going to be cold because the bottom of the pump chamber is well below the frost line. The temperature at the bottom of that reservoir should be in the 50s, low 50s. So what that means is the water is going to stay cool and it's going to recirculate that water slowly through the entire ecosystem, which is giving us the desired water quality. Very clean, very clear water. The health of the fish has always been phenomenal, and that's because for the past 17 years, it's been recirculating the system. I want to get these fish into our holding container here and then release them into this pond. So let's go make that happen. Check this guy out. This is unbelievable. Right in front of a living dinosaur, an incredible species that has been around for thousands and thousands of years, going right here at Aqualand. Wow, that is amazing. Things I want to explain here. This is just temporary. I just thought about it literally as we're dumping the fish in here. And all of a sudden it hit me, I'm like, they can go downstream and it would be bad just because of their size. There's not enough water down at the bottom to sustain them overnight. I will have to come up with something better. We're gonna have to monitor them, see how they start acting around all of this stuff. Other thing, whenever you're blocking off a negative edge like this, you want to make sure you allow for high water flow, because me just adding a few boulders in here is actually causing a restriction. So now all of a sudden, as soon as you add a restriction, the water upstream is going to back up just a little bit. It could actually cause a small leak. Remember, we have 3,000 gallons down in that reservoir, so that's a lot of water. That's going to continue pumping water up into here. If it can't get back down inside fast enough, it might overflow and cause a potential issue. So I'll check it out first thing in the morning. We just dropped off the big fish first, so those were the albinos. Now we're gonna go do the sturgeon. We're gonna put them in the front pond. This is actually gonna be the perfect environment for them. This pond's 12 feet deep, over 600,000 gallons of water. Tons of space for them just to roam around. They're gonna be feeding on all of the different stuff that's living down in the bottom. So what I love about sturgeon, they are a cleaner, they're a specialist. They're gonna be down in the bottom looking for nematodes and worms and snails and small crustaceans and all of that stuff. And while they're feeding, they're constantly drawing water into their mouth looking for food, but it's causing a bioturbation. You've heard me talk about that before. Bioturbation is a disturbance inside of an ecosystem that's caused by an animal. These guys are gonna be down there, they're gonna be feeding and feasting on all that stuff. They're gonna be stirring it up, which is going to bring some of those nutrients up to the surface for the smaller fish, as well as zooplankton and some of the sediments and things like that are going to get swept over the other negative edge that we have, and it's going to end up down in that big reservoir and eventually into our wetland filters. We got to get these fish in. Let's do it. These are gonna get a little bit bigger, so they're starting smaller, but they will get big. Look at these serrations. Look at that back. Whoa, and on the side. Now, the other thing is the smaller ones are usually more resilient. For whatever reason, big ones get more stressed, so that's why I wanted to get those big ones in there first. We got the new fishes in.
Okay, so I saw the video, but I haven't seen it in person.
Completely different.
Look at that! Look at that heart! Oh my gosh! But I didn't think it was that big.
It's awesome, isn't it? I mean,
yes.
But look at
what's this fish?
Oh, that is a gift from Brian.
Brian loves ochibas.
Yep.
Ochibas are the friendliest koi.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, they are the friendliest
really?
koi. So that's for Brian's personal pond.
Oh,
so that's pretty cool. So
that
we got
awesome.
these two. This fish is going to be famous or infamous. It's the first time in all my years of being the pond guy, which is 31 years, that I've seen a koi with a heart on it. Super cool. So we just got, look, yeah, it comes right up and
that's crazy.
Yeah, so that's an ochiba for you right there. This very hungry and very friendly, which is so interesting how a breed would have that level of personality. But every fish has a different personality. But Ochibas in general are kind of like,
I've
you know.
never heard that.
Yeah. That's why I think that's why Brian wanted
Interesting.
it. But that
Isn't that incredible?
That heartfish is
but
so
look
cool.
at the colors on that, and it's just so vibrant. The heart is split in half.
I love the white and the red.
White, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's cool.
They've only been in here for a week. I would love to keep them in here another week or so just to make sure they're eating a little bit. They're starting to get more and more comfortable. The Ochiba started eating immediately. The heart koi a little bit slower, but starting to eat. But you can tell he is eating, but slow. Yeah. But you can see no stress on the fins. Super active. Lime coat looks good. I checked him when I was taking them out of the box. Brian, Fitz Fish Ponds, they did a phenomenal job. Everything was boxed up. The water was nice and cool inside. Everything was actually perfect.
Okay, so this one's going in our indoor Japanese pond, and that one's going to Brian's personal pond.
You got it.
The first ever that I've ever seen heart koi. I love my job.